We as human beings do this all the time. Something happens, someone says something, someone looks at us in a particular way, and we make up a whole story and add drama and add significance. Okay, this is part of being human. So today, we're going to share what to do about this. We collect evidence for our stories so that they become more true. These are some of the common stories that we hear in our travels. My manager, he doesn't appreciate me. Moving up requires too much sacrifice. It's just better to stay where I am. I know what I'm doing, not going there. I should be further along in my career. I should have gotten my MBA. It's really hard to be a working mother. I shouldn't have moved to this neighborhood. I should have done my research. I'm not like any of these other women. It's never good enough for my mother. She's so critical. Nothing I do is right. I'm never gonna meet someone. I'm just gonna be alone. Raise your hand if you can relate to one or more of these stories. Just a hunch. You're probably wondering, when am I getting to the good news? Like, why is this the opening act? Okay? So I'm now gonna give you the good news. You have the power to choose a new story. I'm gonna give you the model, and then I'm gonna share several examples of how I've used it in my career and my life, so that you leave here today motivated, equipped, and in action to apply it to your own life. So let me begin with my first example. When I was in my 30s, I was running a large sales organization at a media company. And I was really happy. I loved my team. We had exceeded our goals. And I could see myself there for at least 3 to 5 years. I loved my colleagues, and I really respected my manager. He was smart, he appreciated my leadership style, and he was very hands-off. One day, I was called into HR and informed that my manager was leaving the next week. And there was going to be a reorg, and I was reporting to someone that I did not like, did not respect, and definitely didn't like or respect me. So I went home that night, shocked, disappointed. Frankly, I was angry that no one had consulted me. And I just ranted to my husband, Sean. I said, this is never going to work. This is a big mistake. And I can't believe they didn't speak to me. And I don't like him, and he doesn't like assertive women. And this is just gonna be a train wreck. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but like, this is a disaster. And for everyone here, I just want you to be happy I'm giving you the short version. So this is the new manager, and my story about him was, this is never gonna work. I should not be reporting to him. Well, I ranted to Sean, and then I went into work the next day, and in a senior leadership role, I acted as if everything was fine. But meanwhile, in my head, things were not fine. I was stewing, and I was busy collecting evidence for all the things he did that didn't work, and why I should not be reporting to him. And I had this one friend at work, and I would text her every day and share, well, then he did this, and then he said this. And she would agree with me, of course, and express sympathy. So about a month into this, I was really suffering, okay? I felt trapped, I felt demotivated. So step number 2 in our model is, what's the cost of believing this story? Like, I was right/righteous about my manager, but I was the one that was suffering. This started impacting my sleep, my job satisfaction, and I actually started feeling anxiety about the future. So Sean said to me, Lisa, it's fine, you should look for another job. Are you gonna do that? And I said, I don't wanna look for another job. I love my job. I like my team, I like my clients, I'm making incredible money, I have a great, career trajectory. I don't wanna look for another job. Well, he then followed up with a practical question and said, am I gonna have to listen to this every night? He had a good point. So at this point, sometimes it's very hard to do this by yourself because you get very attached to your story. Who can relate to what I'm saying? So I reached out, it's like the lifeline, okay? I reached out to my friend Wendy, who now is my Fast Forward business partner, and I said, Wendy, I need help. I'm suffering, it's impacting my sleep. I want to stay at the company, help. She said, Lisa, you have two choices. You can continue collecting evidence for your story and getting to be right, or you can choose another story and be happy. I said, I'll choose happy. So we brainstormed many different alternatives, and what I came up with was I can learn from every manager. Now, this felt fake at first because I had spent a good amount of time complaining. But literally, you have to think about your news story as a new lens to look through, viewing the same people, viewing the same circumstances, assuming they're not going to change, you are. And looking through this new lens and saying this new story, I then took actions I would not have taken. I sought out his counsel on several challenges I was facing, and he was helpful. I set up breakfast with him to get to know him as a human being. And he wasn't so bad after all. I then made a recommendation to him about how he could improve his team meeting so that it would be more impactful, and he listened. So weeks later, I felt this sense of relief. My job satisfaction had returned, and I went on to work with him for 3 years, and I did learn a lot from him. We had a productive working relationship, and most importantly, I did not suffer. I want you today to think about relationships that you have at work that you'd love to improve. What if they're not changing? What if the possibility is for you to take on this model and for you to look through a new lens at those same people?